Hi, everybody. Welcome to this special edition of Niners Radio 49, the aftermath, and the aftermath of Super Bowl 58. Brian Professor B. Davis back here at the Satellite Digital Media Studios here in San Francisco, the day after the aftermath. Another devastating, heartbreaking loss for your San Francisco 49ers, losing 25 to 22 in overtime to the Kansas City Chiefs. What a heartbreaker, you know, tough way to end what was another, you know, just a sad way to end the season last night. And we would like to apologize. We weren't able to do the post game last night because I was just kind of a bit tired and drained because of the grind. I mean, because of the grind, what we went through. Um, I was just so tired last night from the game, just posting stuff on social media of the behind the scenes, and we like to have City Ball Crew coming on as we're also on the Satellite Digital Media News Network. So we're going to be on there just to recap this game. We'll be on a few more times this week just to talk about the aftermath of this game, and then we'll put a bow on it sometime either on sometime later at the end of this week or sometime this weekend to put a bow of this season. And where the Niners go from here in the off season. So this was a gut puncher, another heartbreaker. If you want to come on and talk 49ers football, well, the hotline right now is area code 415-529-7979 is the hotline number. And we're also simulcasting this podcast live on satellite. Also, we're on Satellite Digital Media, our main via the StreamYard system. So pulling it up that I'm on both of the networks. You know, so we're so this is doing a simulcast though too. So if you want to come on talk 49ers football, 415 5. It's I put my regular phone number on there, so I don't want to. So my hotline number is 415-529-7979 is the hotline number if you want to come on and talk 49 football. So this is a tough one, Again, for the second time in as many years, second time in five. In fact, the third time in the last 11 years that the 49ers lose the Super Bowl. Lost it 4 years ago to the Chiefs. They had a 20-10 lead and squandered that lead. The Chiefs scored 21 unanswered points. Then, 11 years ago, the Niners come all the way back and got within 3 points. They had a chance for the win, and then, they lose on the heartbreaker to the Baltimore Ravens. So this is a tough one to swallow right now. It's still, still fresh and off everybody's mind. We're going to recap the game. And once again, those you watching on City Ball or on all of our affiliates, come on by if you want to talk 49ers football. 415. It will be 415. It's 415-529-7979 is our hotline number if you want to talk 49ers football. And, if you want to click on the subscribe button, click on youtube.com to hit the subscribe button. Well, we're just going to break down to it and the game and then a lot of the factors that everybody could say what happened. and we'll get into some more in-depth stuff of the Super Bowl as well. Some of the notes and stuff. So let's do a recap of the Super Bowl. Then we'll have will be will be talking. This is gonna hurt for a while. The night. This has kind of been a micro in recent years near misses. Last year, getting blown out in Philadelphia, 31-7. The Eagles Niners didn't even have a chance after Brock Purdy got knocked out with that elbow injury. Then 2 years ago, the Niners had that 17-7 lead, and then they the the Niners dropped a potential interception by Jakarski Tart, and then the Rams end up coming back to score 10 unanswered points or 17 unanswered points to win that game 20-17. They would advance to Super Bowl 56, which they would end up beating the Cincinnati Bengals to win their second Super Bowl in franchise history, their first since returning to Los Angeles. And then the Super Bowl, and then the loss in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs 4 years ago, and you know, and then in 2020 was the COVID year. They had over a lot of play. They were decimated by injuries. Then to lose to the Rams and the Eagles twice, and then now that's it's kind of a microcosm of near misses, and outside of the Niners, a lot more devastating, heartbreaking losses in Bay Area sports history for all the Niner fans who are living in the San Francisco Bay Area in this region of devastating losses. So we want to get your thoughts. Come on by, and now they have three losses in the Super Bowl. They have the same amount of losses in the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. So now it's even in that loss column. And boy, there's a lot we could break down, and but work. You look back at the news and notes. Everybody could talk about the illegal man downfield late in the game in that overtime period. Uh, it was not just that they had too many mistakes. Um, First on the first drive, McCaffrey fumbles. They lose the ball. They started really good on that opening drive, and then the Chiefs got the ball, but then they didn't get no points. The Niners did get the ball back, but the pre and post snap penalties, drop balls, too many missed opportunities, four false start penalties. That and then and then there's no communication defense, and nothing was compounded more. Losing Dre Greenlaw went down with that Achilles injury, and he's going to have surgery. His status is going to be uncertain for the upcoming 2025. So there's a lot of uncertainty for that because most likely he will miss significant time in 24 for the next upcoming season. And those Achilles injuries are no joke. They take a very long time to heal, to get up to 100%. And he could miss significant time next year as well. You know, they have just had a lot of bad luck with just a bad luck. I mean, and we'll just now get into to the stats. Getting into the stats on Niners Radio 49, and we're on satellite digital media. We'll get into the in-depth of the stats. The stats. The stats. The stats. Just a recap of the game. I know you guys are still hurting over that loss. I mean, you know, and then so we'll just start just to recap the game. And it started in the second quarter. It was no score. Jake Moody started off big, kicking a 55-yard field goal. and that put the Niners up 3-0. Juan Jennings passed to Christian McCaffrey in the second. They had a 10-0 lead. Then on 4th and 6, Harrison Butler hit a 28-yard field goal, 10-3. Then he boomed another field goal, 57-yard field goal. That's a new Super Bowl record that made 10-6. By the way, both field goals, the longest field goals in Super Bowl history, Butler's 57-yarder is the longest, and then it was Jake. Then it was Jake the Snake Moody, big 55-yard field goal, got them there, and then the third longest was by Steve Christie's 54-yard field goal in a losing effort in Super Bowl 28 against the Dallas Cowboys 30 years ago, back in January of 1994. And then Patrick Mahomes connected with Marquez Valdez-Scantling for a touchdown. This was in the third quarter. Remember, the Niners had that 10-6 lead, but then that muff punt, the ball deflected off one of the Niner gunners, and McLeod had to go and recover for it. And they just kind of similar shades of Kyle Williams' ball deflection that cost the Niners the NFC Championship game 12 years ago back at Candlestick Park. The Chiefs recovered it on a short field deep in the Niners territory. It was Mahomes end up connecting with Valdez Scantling for that touchdown, 13-10. Then Brock Purdy connected with Juan Jennings for a touchdown, 10-yarder that made it 16-3 with 11:27 left to play in regulation. Then Harrison Buckler's 24-yard field goal made it 19-16, tied at 16 all. And I remember the missed extra point was blocked before, and then Moody hit a 53-yard field goal with a $1:57 left to play and made it 19-16. Then Buckler hit a 29-yard field goal that made it 19-19. And then Jake Moody hit a 27-yard field goal that made it 20-19. But then it was Patrick Mahomes on 1st and goal at the 3, connected with Miracle Hardman for a 3-yard touchdown. That was it. I think it was 2 or 3 fourth down plays. The Niners couldn't stop them. And boy, the game of inches, the game of inches you could talk about, they just didn't do enough. Too many false start penalties on offense. Offense didn't do enough. And here's some of the stats of the game. The Chiefs outgained the 49ers 24 first downs to 1. The Chiefs were 9 out of 19 on third downs. Niners were just 3 of 12. Both teams were 1 for 1 on fourth downs. The Chiefs 455 total net yards to the Niners 382. Chiefs 325 yards passing. The Niners 272. The rushing yards was the key. 130 yards rushing. The Chiefs to the Niners 110 total plays. 79 for the Chiefs to the Niners 71. Completion attempts, 34 out of 46 for the Chiefs. The Niners 24 out of 39. Total rush, the Niners outgained the Chiefs by 1 rush, and I want to get the final total of that. They only averaged 3.5 yards, and then the Chiefs had 130 and they averaged 4.3 yards. And then both teams committed 2 turnovers, and the big turnover was that special teams botch that gave the Chiefs retained sole possession and extended that drive for that touchdown, and that was the difference. Chiefs sacked the Niners sacked Mahomes 3 times. That Purdy only got sacked 1. Penalties. Chiefs were penalized 6 times for 55 yards. Niners 6 times for 40. And those penalties, at least 4 times for false start penalties, was the difference. Time of possession, Niners 38 minutes and 31 seconds. Chiefs 36 minutes and 26 seconds. Final stat numbers, Purdy threw for 255 yards, 1 touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries for 80 yards, no touchdowns. He led both, and he had a total in the game. He had 30 touches, 80 yards on 30 touches. He only averaged just 2.6 yards per touch. And then Patrick Mahomes threw for 2 touchdowns. He threw for 333 yards. And he ran for 66 yards on 9 carries. So he had almost 400 all-purpose yards. Patrick Mahomes averaged 9.2 yards per touch. And then McCole Hardman, 3 catches for 57 yards, which was the game winner. And that was a touchdown, and that was it. And then look at some of the other stats. You just can't focus in on just that other things that happened. I mean, Deebo Samuel, the offensive wide receivers, so McCaffrey had 8 catches. He averaged 10 yards per catch. Then Brandon Ayuk, 3 catches for 49 yards. And then Juan Jennings, 4 catches for 42 yards. And then the Chiefs held tight end George Kittle only 2 catches for 4 yards, only averaging 2 yards a catch. Jake Moody was 3 for 3. He had a field goal. Has 1 of 2 extra points were blocked. Mitch Wisnowski punted 5 times, averaged 50.8 yards. And then for the Chiefs, Travis Kelce had 9 catches for 93 yards. And that was the tight end battle with the Travis Kelce. And then Isaiah Pacheco was held to only 59 yards, rushing on 3.3 yards per carry. So you look at it right there, Kittle only caught 2 balls, and when the offense didn't do enough, the defense played lights out. And then with the devastating injury with Trey Greenlaw losing him, blowing his Achilles out, and not only his status is uncertain. He could be out for a significant amount of time. He definitely going to miss the OTAs, and probably could have to miss all of next year, because those Achilles injuries are very hard to get back from, the recover. That takes a very long time. So, but we're gonna go to that press conference, or what Kyle Shanahan's his thoughts about the loss in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they're so sad.
It was 2 real good teams. Went back and forth throughout the whole game, and both teams played their asses off, but and then they got it done. I mean, we all hurt. I mean, everyone knows how it feels, and don't have a lot of words for it. But obviously, we're hurting. Our team's hurting, but that's how it goes when you put yourself out there. I'm real proud of our guys for no regrets with our team. I thought our guys played so hard today. Not everything was perfect by no means, but I'm going to lose with a group of guys. It's do with those guys anytime, and we'll take some time. We'll get over this and come back next year ready to go. On the third down, it looked like there was a protection bust up the middle. We were going to Juwan. I know it looked like Juwan killed him. One pretty good, but Chris Jones got loose in the middle. I think there was a mistake, not sure, but also he's a hard guy to.
Looked like you thought about it, maybe going for it there in the field goal, or was that at all hesitation whether to kick the field goal?
No, we never thought about there, 4th and 4. I mean, even if we do go and score, they still can go down and match it, and so no, there wasn't a thought there. It's just something we talked about with, that none of us have a ton of experience of it, but we went through all the analytics and talked with those guys, and we just thought it'd be better. We wanted the ball third. If both teams matched and scored, we wanted to be the one with the chance to go win, and we got that field goal, so we knew we had to hold them to at least a field goal, and if we did, then we thought it was in our hands after that. No, we decided that before. Greenlaw tore his Achilles. I'm not sure about George. It was a shoulder thing. He couldn't go there at the end. Was a little bit off and on, but he was playing through a lot of pain there. And then.
You went out to try to shake Andy's hand, but then that's just because you saw it was take some time.
No, we talked on Monday. I mean, last year or when we played each other last time, it was, it took about 25 minutes to actually shake his hand. So we both talked on Monday that regardless of who won. I mean, I love Andy. I'm tight with Andy. But we talked. Both of us are going to do that because it's too hard to get to each other after these Super Bowls.
After all these hard losses you've had 10 years, what did you tell your team after this? Anything different? Any different tone?
No, there's nothing different to say. I mean, I don't care how you lose when you lose Super Bowls, especially ones you think you can pull off. It hurts. But I mean, I don't know, when you're in the NFL, I think every team should hurt except for one at the end. We've gotten pretty damn close, but we haven't pulled it off, and we're hurting right now. But doesn't take away from how proud of our guys I am. I'm real proud of them today too. That's part of sports. It's part of football. It's part of life. But glad we put ourselves out there, and I love our team, and we'll recover, and we'll be back. We'll be back next year strong.
How do you assess your offense in this game?
What's that?
How do you assess your offense in this game?
How do I what?
Assess your offense.
I mean, each play is different.
How do you think Brock played? When he doesn't move it around with his legs, was that an emphasis to try to get him outside a little bit?
No, I mean, we called a couple bootlegs and stuff, which is, I mean, you do that on that, but I mean, that's what Brock does. Brock scrambles, he makes some plays, and I mean, we knew it would be like that. Just going, I mean, that was the toughest defense we've been against this year. We knew it going into the game. I mean, that's a good group. I mean, the way they mix up the blitzes and stuff, and the two shell coverages, they're tough against the run, and the game they played was tough, but that's why they haven't given up 27 or more than 27 this year. So we had our chances. Needed to score a couple touchdowns when we didn't, but I was happy with Brock.
Kyle, you did go for it on the 4th and 3 earlier. Is that does Mahomes factor into that? Like, we have to score more?
Oh, yeah, 100%. That isn't probably something normally would do, but thought it was the right thing in that situation.
Your special teams had some good ones. There obviously the two big gaps there. How hard is it to kind of swallow those, and what were your view?
I mean, I saw the ball bounce and it hit off Luter. And so, I mean, yelling Peter, I don't know. I can't hear it out there. So it looks like he didn't hear it either. And the ball took a bad bounce and got him. And I didn't actually see what happened on the blocked field goal. I'm not sure there. But, yeah, those are some tough plays.
You got away from the run game. What was your thought process there?
I didn't get away from the run game. You go 3 and out, and you don't get drives. So didn't get away from it. We just didn't stay on the field.
How'd you feel at halftime with that lead? You got the trick play touchdown. It's obviously going to be a tight game. How were you feeling?
There was no feeling at halftime. I mean, we didn't feel like we had a lead. Big 0-0. We could have been up a lot more and not felt any different or down. There's a whole another half of football to play.
Final play, Kyle. Did you have a good view of it? Did Logan just stall getting over the cover and hurt?
I didn't have a good view of it. I'm not sure who it was, but not sure. I thought Brock did a good job. Gave us a chance to win. I mean, same as always. He's unbelievable. Yeah, we just threw a screen to Juwan, or threw it back to Christian. That's a play that a lot of teams run. We've ran it in the past a number of times, and thought it looked good today. And the guys did a hell of a job making that play. No, that's not why we did it. We decided before, just the way we were going to go, just discussing it. We don't have a lot of experience in that, and our biggest thing was we knew both teams were going to get the ball at least once. So we wanted to make sure if we won the toss, we wanted to be the team who got it the third time. I mean, looked pretty good at the beginning. Got them to a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1. I mean, we had a number of guys go down. But I mean, that's what those guys do. They're real good at it. None. Yeah, 4th and 4. I mean, you go for it and get a touchdown, they still got another chance. You don't get it, and then they just got to go down and kick a field goal. Yeah, I mean, injuries are part of the game. They're always a big deal. I mean, it's always tougher when there's good guys like that. Hopefully I'll spend a little time with them tonight. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, you don't say a lot. There's not much to say. You let guys deal with it. You gotta feel this. It's not something that just words or anything makes it feel better. You sit there and you deal with it, and you got to do that for a while. But I'm so proud of Brock, how he shows up every week, how he plays. He had an unbelievable year, and he did a hell of a job today. I don't give myself a time limit. I'll deal with it the next couple days, next couple weeks, and when it's time to work, which will be sooner than later with how these seasons go, but we'll be ready. We'll come back, and we'll constantly be working out throughout the whole off season. And this is my second game as a head coach, but I think when you go against guys like Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes, you better never feel comfortable with the lead. And those are two of the best players to ever play the game, and that's why whether you have a lead or you're down points, those guys are always in it. You watch them all the time do that stuff.
You've talked about not wanting to have regrets on the stage. Can you tell right now? Do you have any regrets?
No, I mean, when we go through football, and you watch it as part of our job. I mean, any play that doesn't work, you always think about that. But in terms of everything that we try to do, we try to prepare as hard as we can, and we try to go in there and do exactly what we think's right based off our preparation, what's going on in that game, and try to make what I can't live with is when I do stuff that I didn't plan on doing or that I didn't do and second guess myself. And I'm proud of what we did today as a coaching staff and as players in terms of we worked and we did everything that we planned on doing. We just didn't get it done. And any play that didn't work out, yeah, you always look at that stuff, but that's how every game is. And that's what we work at. What's that? Who do I what? Yeah, I heard the most for the players. Those are the guys. I mean, it's such a. Can't tell you guys how long it takes to get here and just how long an NFL season is, going through January and all the way into February. So, our guys, I heard from the most. Is good. All right.
That's 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Once again, the Niners losing by a score 25-22. Heartbreaker to the Kansas City Chiefs. You're watching right now, Niners Radio Live. the or Monday edition of the aftermath. And usually, I mean, wish right now has been Victory Monday, but and getting ready for that celebration, probably the parade downtown on Market Street on Wednesday. But the Niners fell just short again of winning that sixth Super Bowl in franchise history. So for the other side, for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, he wins his third Super Bowl MVP again. He now joins Tom Brady, Joe Montana to win that award 3 times. He's now won 3 Super Bowls under the age of 30 before hitting 30. Tom Brady was, of course, did that. And then for the 49ers, I mean, they're on this uncharted list of territories, the uncharted waters of longest Super Bowl drought. And the Niners are now uh, ahead of the Dallas Cowboys by 1 full year. I mean, and then the only other team out of the NFC has the longer drought than the Niners and the Cowboys from the NFC was the Washington Redskins / Commanders, who last won their Super Bowl back in 1991 January when they defeat the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 26 in January of 1992. And that was, of course, for the Redskins at that time by legendary Hall of Fame coach Joe Gibbs, who was the winningest head coach in football during the 1980s, won his third Super Bowl in a decade. And then the only other teams, the Raiders, have the second longest drought in all of football or in the AFC. Their last Super Bowl win, of course, was back in 40 years ago, January of '84, when they beat the Redskins 38-9 at Tampa Stadium in Tampa, Florida. As the Raiders, actually, the Raiders have only been to the Super Bowl only once in the last 40 years, and then their last Super Bowl appearance was 21 years ago in January of '03 when they got beat by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 48-21 down in San Diego. And then the Miami Dolphins have the longest drought. January back in 1973, you seen the post game. You seen Miami Dolphins legend fullback Larry Zonka giving the Vince Lombardi Trophy to the Chiefs. Of course, this year marked the 50-year anniversary of the Miami Dolphins winning back-to-back with their last Super Bowl win, back-to-back years when they won the Super Bowl. Of course, in '72 they won their first after their perfect season in 1972, 17-0. Then they won it all again in 1973, and of course they beat the Minnesota Vikings 24-7 in Super Bowl VIII in Houston back in January of 1974, some 50 years ago. And this is kind of a trend of the 49ers in recent times and over the last decade. In recent years, they go 13-3, best record in the NFC. 4 years ago, they they end up losing a heartbreaker to the Chiefs after and they lose to the Chiefs. 2020, they the COVID year, and they were just decimated by injuries without no full training camp, no preseason games. They finished 6-10. They don't make the playoffs. 21 to rebound, 10-7. They lost the NFC Championship game to the Rams, who were the eventual champion Rams, who go on to win the Super Bowl against the Cincinnati Bengals. Then last year they go 13-4. Jimmy gets hurt against the Dolphins. Brock Purdy takes over. They go all the way to the NFC Championship and lost to the Eagles when only to see Brock Purdy gets hurt. There was no contest. They lose 31-7. And then they go 13-5 this year. And, only to lose on the last play in overtime in the Super Bowl. So it's just been happening and happening again and again and again and again, you know. And I know for Niner fans, they're just it hurts, and for, you know, in perspective, you know, we've seen it all in Bay Area sports. This is right up there with the Giants losing that World Series in 2002 to the Angels, and I was there to see the Giants squander that 5-0 lead, and they were only 8 outs away from winning it, and the Angels came back and won that game 6, and then that momentum carried over to game 7, and the Angels ended up winning their 7th game as well to win the franchise's first World Series in franchise history. And then the Giants would, you know, had to wait 8 long years to finally win their first World Series on the West Coast. And then, you know, the first of would be 3 World Series out of the next 5 years to cement themselves as a dynasty. And then the Warriors' recent success, 4 NBA championships, and, you know, the heartbreaker, they lose to the Cavaliers down 3 games to 1. And it's just a lot. It's just I've seen it all over the years, and you know that the watching some of the clips from the heartbreaks, watching for local news affiliates on YouTube, just the finality. You know, we always talk about the finality. You know, when you losing hurts more than, you know, because you have to wear that crown all throughout the remainder of this winter, all spring. You'll have to wear that, you know, and that's a tough pill to swallow. It's not that easy, you know. You know, you have a shorter off season, and, you know, just before that, you have the NFL Combine. Then the new league year, the free agency period starts in about exactly a month from now. So this off season is going to be short, and they're going to have to put this one behind them sooner or later, real quick, and move forward. You know, this one is going to be tough to process, and, you know, if you put it in perspective, you know, in perspective that yours truly now completing my second year as the full-time mediator for Niners Radio 49. I had the experience of personal tragedy, being, you know, around this time 2 years ago, I end up, you know, I told Brian Bauer that I was going to take over as the mediator for Niners Radio 49 and really put this thing on the map and keep up with the success. And it's been a transition. And, you know, around that same time, when I was doing roving reporter for the USF Dons baseball, being their team reporter, getting ready for our 24th season. Just around a month later, you know, a lot was going on. What was a lot of, you know, there was a situation there that, you know, that led to the issues that led the former USF Dons baseball head coach Neil Giartano at the time end up getting fired. What happened when because of the issues would happen at USF to the embattled disgrace of former assistant Troy Nakamura, what he did inappropriately when he exposed himself on the field, and then he pulled his pants down, exposed himself, indecently exposed himself, and doing practice in the fall of 21, and then all the stuff came, and then he was terminated, and then Nakamura, after he was terminated, came back onto the field before one of pregame, right before I came down to get ready to do pregame show for USF, getting ready to play our midweek game against Fresno State. And then coach, I think about 3 or 4 days later, gets fired. On that Sunday morning, I get that dreadful call that he was fired. And that just really hurt because we were just getting ready to do, as I was doing my USF Dons baseball stuff, but we were just getting ready to prepare to do free agent stuff, free agency in the NFL, the free agency period. And, you know, that really hurt because when Coach Giartano got fired, I had to shut down operations, shut down, went into a definite hiatus, temporary hiatus, which really lasted for 5 months. And I did very few little specials, projects, but other than that, that kind of took the cells out of me, and then came back to do Niners Radio at 49 in August for training camp, but really was only shrank to only 1 month because of that long hiatus. And then the whole 2022 calendar year was considered a truncated year due to what happened. And, you know, but that's another story I could talk about on satellite digital media. But, you know, we were able to get the most out of the 2022 season. They fell short to the Eagles. And then, again, I landed somewhere else in baseball again for St. Mary's. And then Coach Giartano's former assistant, Greg Moore, they parted ways with him. And then I just decided that I wanted to go. I'll go in a different direction, find what's better place where I can land. And I'm not going to go on here and comment. I'm not going to go on the air and comment, or I'm going to keep that. But I really felt it was best interest. I wanted to go to a different spot, to land somewhere else better. Where if but it's just kind of that reality. I know heartbreak as personal as your mediator, but how you bounce back from this, how the Niners can bounce back, 2 times in 5 years. The last 4 years have been devastating. You know, how do you bounce back from this? How can you get back? Get back. You know, this is going to sting for a good while, and sooner or later they're going to have to get this thing back on track. The status of Drake Greenlaw is a devastating loss because now he could miss significant time depending how serious that Achilles injury is. And, again, you got to give credit to the Kansas City Chiefs. Been talking about all through last week. They were the champions of the champions of football. They have to be toppled before you think otherwise. And once again, they are back on that for the second straight year. First team in the NFL to win back-to-back Super Bowls since the Patriots, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady did nearly two decades ago. Only one other pro sports franchise, uh, more, pro sports league, have not had a repeat winner of a championship, as baseball has now gone longer, 24 years to be exact, when the last time there'd been a repeat winner of the World Series, and that was the Yankees of 2000 when they reeled off their three-peat and won 4 World Series out of the 5 years from 96 through 2000. So, that's the hardest part, the finale. When you lose a game like at this magnitude, like the Niners lost again, it's going to take a lot out of this team. How do you bounce back for this, And we'll get to it later in the week. We'll be doing a little stuff on Facebook and add up some more stats and stuff. And then hopefully by the end of this week, we'll do the season recap. And I know and also, I believe tomorrow Niners they'll have their final goodbyes. They'll clean out their lockers. We'll see what the response. We'll have another edition of Niners Radio 49. They hear the press conference for both Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and just get their thoughts of the season. Where do they go from here this offseason? This is still a young team, and but every time you miss out that opportunity, it's one more year older. I always say you have to take advantage of the situation when you have it, because ultimately the window's going to close. And when that window closes, it's going to be slammed shut, and you have to go through a rebuild for the next 3 or 4 years before you even get a chance to get back there again. So for now, we're going to wrap it up, and hopefully tomorrow or later this week, we'll have another edition of Niners Radio 49 podcast. Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch's final press conference, and get some players' reactions. And we'd like to thank the NFL, NFL.com for that video footage. And always check us out, Niners Radio 49, YouTube.com/@Niners Radio 49. And we will, we'll have our full season recap and what's going to be lie ahead for the 49ers in this off season. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching this evening. I know it's been tough. You're still in that grieving process, but we still have our good health. And, you know, I know it was draining, and, you never want to take that home to your loved ones because it's, you do it with class. Don't take the misery out, Don't kick the cat. Don't throw no ball, no TV, no high definition flat screen TV. We don't do that. We will never do that. As just a game, and the Chiefs did more. They made more plays, and the Niners did not. That is simple as that. You can complain or gripe about Taylor Swift or whatever, and or the missed. But when you get too many false start penalties, getting back 5 yards, holding penalties, or when you can't, you don't, the little things on the special teams, it all adds up in that inventory. Will eventually adds up, and it will all add up at the end, and you have to just fix those things correctly for you to be successful. So that's going to wrap it up right now. On Niners Radio 49, our satellite digital media news time is 9:21. 21 minutes past the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. We're 9 minutes away from the from the bottom of the hour. We're going to wrap it up for now. I'd like to thank all of you for watching Niners Radio 49 tonight, the recap of the aftermath. We usually do that during the daytime, during the season, but with the football season now over, we're going to have some more time to just recap and just go through the grieving period. Um, just we'll get some more interviews and all of that stuff as well throughout the weekend. Then we'll have our full 2024 to 2023 season recap, what's going to lie ahead for the 49ers, and then they prepare for the off season, the uh, the uh, the upcoming combine at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, then the free agency period, the new league year, and like I said, it's never an off season. We're going to have that sometime later this week. I'm going to hopefully try to get Brian Bauer to come on, and I definitely want to try to get Matt Mayoko from NBC Sports Bay Area to come on just to kind of put a bow on the recap of the season, hopefully sometime this week or in the coming weeks ahead. So, Niners Empire, just thank you very much. Also, special shout out to Antonio Ravallo, uh, him, the Gold Bar Whiskey crew, and the rest of the 408 chapter. Trey Bracewell, her husband Chuck, Abe Boudin, and Angela Orvallo, the Antonio Orvallo's sister, the rest of and Joe and all those guys out at Levi Stadium doing our tailgate shows and all throughout the year. I know they're wearing this one pretty hard, and but they're going to bounce back from this, and I know it's not promised you're going to get there. That's why I always say you better take full advantage of the situation when you have an opportunity. Because I look back when Dan Marino lost that Super Bowl to the Niners in January of '85, and he never got back there. He never got back there, and you got to take full advantage of the situation when you have the opportunity. But again, our congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. They defeat your San Francisco 49ers 25-21. And for the second straight year, back to back, the Kansas City Chiefs for the second straight year and for the third time in the last 5 years are the champions of the football world. Check us out, latest news of all the content for what we have throughout the year and beyond. All the interviews, go to youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49. Our other platform is facebook.com/Niners Radio 49. That's going to do it for tonight. And I'd like to thank also our affiliate, Satellite Digital Media, for we're doing this simulcast. We thank you for all this year, and we thank you. And we will have another edition of Niners Radio 49 live. Hopefully, we'll do another segment where the players talk about the season. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan's plans for the offseason. And then, like I said, football season, it never ends. And, you know, it never ends. And, you have to, this thing keeps on with the free agency period coming up. And then you have to, with the draft coming up in late April, you know, uh, they've been, there's things that have to be done. And, you know, we're going to continue to build Niners Radio 49 back to where that level of standard is before I even took over as the full-time mediator. So it's a part of the process. And, like I said, the last couple of years it's been almost the last 23 months has been challenging because of the transition and all that that's going on. It can be strainful, but, it is what it is. You just have to just keep pushing, and regardless of the circumstances. So we thank you all for watching all this year, for this season. I mean, another, and I feel, bad for the players that they're going to have to answer a lot of questions. Kyle Shanahan, can he ever get over that hump? And you also got to remember, Dante Whitner on NBC Sports Radio said that them losing the Super Bowl is considered a failure. That's too harsh to say. I don't like to say it's a failure. Is it disappointing to lose the Super Bowl? Is it heartbreaking failure? Yes, but not winning the Super Bowl is a failure. No, because it's just, I think what's more failure is if you don't meet expectations, like if you had a good enough team not to make the playoffs, like I said, I think it was more failure in my perspective, my personal experience when I was at USF Dons, when we had a talented team that really was capable to win over 35, maybe 40 plus wins a couple of years ago, until all of the issues and the drama unfolded at my old stomping grounds where I was there for 24 years unfolded, which got, you know, because of what the former assistant coach Troy Nakamura did, uh, started this whole firestorm, and that unfortunately, for Coach Giarratano ended up being the fall guy, and for the accusations he was with Coach Giarratano, who my mentor was accused of, was was not true, and hopefully one day that he can get exonerated from this, because he's gotten the support, and but and what's kind of set me back with getting Niners Radio 49 really going, but we're going to keep on grinding and just keep working hard, just like what Coach Giarratano and Coach Greg Moore always say. And because you don't have no control over what happens, you can only control what you can control in yourself. You just have to eliminate distractions, and you know, you set your own standard. You set your own standard, and that's what you all can do. And you have nothing else to control but yourself. So that's going to do it. That's a wrap for tonight. Thank you for watching this special edition of Niners Radio 49, the Aftermath special edition, the Super Bowl 58 recap. Niners fall to the Kansas City Chiefs for the third time in as many years, third time in more than a decade. They fall to the Kansas City Chiefs 25-22 in overtime. The Niners finished the regular season 13-5, best record in the NFC. As for the Chiefs, they end up finishing 14, and they end up going with the 3 wins. They end up going 11-6. And once again, for the second straight year, And for the third time in 5 years, the Chiefs are the champions of the football world. And on behalf of Niners Radio 49, we'd like to send our congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs and Chiefs Kingdom for winning their third Super Bowl and back-to-back and third Super Bowl in the last 5 years. That's it for now. Check us out for all the content. If you missed this show, you can replay it, youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49, and our Facebook page will have it on Niners Radio or Facebook.com/Niners Radio 49. That's it for now. Brian Professor B. Davis, and so long, and have a wonderful good night from the Satellite Digital Media Studios in San Francisco. 49ers faithful to the Bay.